Alright, hey guys, welcome to this session by Great Learning. My name is Anirudh Rao and I'll be your instructor for this session on IPL data analysis using EDA. Now, EDA stands for Exploratory Data Analysis, and it is one of the most fascinating domains that has taken over the recent world today. But then guys, before we can go ahead and begin with this session, I just want to make sure that everything from our side is perfect for all of you all to view optimally. So guys, please head to the chat box and let me know if you can see my screen fine, if you can hear me fine, right? Just quickly head to the chat box and give me a confirmation so that we can go ahead and begin this wonderful session, right? Perfect guys. First of all, welcome to you all from wherever you guys are tuning in from. It's going to be a beautiful session. It's a beautiful evening here in Bengaluru. We're going to get started with exploratory data analysis. It's a very important thing today. It is highly trending in the year 2021. If you guys realize. Now, while you guys go on to give me a confirmation, I just want to tell you that I'm monitoring all of your comments using my mobile phone here, right? So guys, as always, let's keep it highly energetic. Let's keep it highly interactive. No matter what question you have, however basic it is, guys, please head to the comment section, head to the chat box, and please put them down. Without further ado, we can get started with it, right? But then guys, before we go on to check the agenda of today's session, let me take a minute of your time to guide you about this fantastic venture we have here at Great Learning called as Great Learning Academy. Now, Great Learning Academy is definitely a place for all of you all to check out. Before me telling you what Great Learning Academy is, I can promise you this. Either you are, regardless of where you are in your career right now, be it that you're a student, you're in college, you're just about to graduate, or you just graduated, you're looking for a job, you're hunting for your first job, you're looking to switch jobs, you're looking to change careers, whatever it is, right? So right from the point of where you're in school all the way to you're switching your entire careers, I can promise you something, that here at Great Learning Academy you can have access to fantastic courses absolutely free of cost that will definitely help you increase your knowledge base, right? So we have catered to somewhere around 1 million plus learners from 140 different countries. We provide somewhere around 1,000 plus hours of free learning content, and we get 3 million plus views on all of our learning content that we have out here, right? Now this with the Great Learning career path, there are so many advantages here, guys. You can definitely pick up a career path, and you can work towards becoming an expert into those as well. Now in this particular example, we're talking about a data analyst role, right? Exploratory data analyst. So let me just find the data analyst path and let me just click on it. Now, if you can see there's somewhere around 95,000, 93.5, right? So 93,500 jobs available in India right now for you guys to become a data analyst. The average salary is somewhere around 5 lakhs per annum. And of course, we already have 1.7 plus lakh learners who are tuned into all of these programs, guys. So you can see, right? So we have 8,000 plus career transition with the people who have picked up our job ready programs here, right? So they have an average salary hike of 48%. And of course, we have 1,900 plus people who are enrolled into this post-graduation program this month as well. But then guys, more details about this at the end of the session, so make sure you guys are sticking till the end, because that is where I'll take the opportunity to ensure that I can guide all of you all from being from being beginners right now all the way to how you guys can work towards expertise, right? Perfect. But then to work on the data analyst path, you definitely can take a look at some of the free courses that we are providing, just so you can get started with the domain itself, right? For example, Data Science Foundation is a fantastic free course that we are offering. Let me just click on it, and now here you can see that this course is taken up by somewhere around 27,000 learners. You can find out all the details about the course, skills covered, all the syllabus of it, and in fact even a sample course certificate which looks like this, guys, right? So I'm sure all of you all who are tuning into this particular video, you know the amount of value that a certificate adds, right? A certificate of completion adds to your resume, to your LinkedIn profile, or whatever it is, because these are the ones that will help you, these are the assets that will help you stand out compared to the competition, is definitely something that I'd want to say here. So guys, you let me know, head to the comment section. We have 122 people joining in right now. So guys, welcome to the session by Great Learning from wherever you guys are tuning in from. I'm so glad that all of you all are tuned in and are as excited as me for data analysis, guys. But guys, I want you to head to the comment section right now and tell me if you all have signed up at Great Learning Academy or not. Can you just quickly head to the chat box and give me a quick yes or no with respect to you having created an account in Great Learning Academy, and have you guys started on it, right? So just quickly head to the chat box and let me know. And while you guys do that, let's quickly go on to take a look at the agenda for today's session. This session is going to be really fun. At the end of it, I hope that I want to make sure that all of you all know what exploratory data analysis is itself, right? So to get to there, we're going to start out by doing some theory. Let's understand what exploratory data analysis is. Let us take a couple of examples. Let us try to see if we have ever done any sort of data analysis in our life, even though we might have not done it with respect to the domain of data analysis. Let's check that out. After that, we can take a look at the various types of exploratory data analysis that are out there. Right now, there is multiple types of it. All of them are equally important, and even though you may or may not use all these methods, it's extremely important for you to know that, right? So we're going to check that out. After this, we're going to take a quick look at some of the advantages of EDA. EDA is the same as exploratory data analysis. Now, you can you can take a look at exploratory data analysis, and you can understand that it's not only really popular just because of how powerful it is, but once you start understanding the advantages of EDA as well, right, that is when you guys will get the complete understanding, get the complete picture of, okay, this is why EDA is so popular, right? So that moment of euphoria, I definitely think that all of you all will feel as well after we discuss the advantages. And then up until this point of time, we would have discussed a good amount of theory. So I think it becomes extremely important that we actually go on to perform the data analysis on the IPL dataset, right? So guys, IPL dataset, IPL is in session right now, I guess, right? Indian Premier League. I'm sorry, I'm not much of a cricket guy, but then I always have a ton of fun whenever we go on to do any sort of analysis. So guys, quickly head to the chat box, and can anyone tell me who is at the top of the IPL table right now? So which team is it? RCB? Is it Mumbai Indians? Like, who are these guys who's sitting on that first top 2 or the top 3 positions, right? Head to the comment section and let me know. Now, while you guys do that, I want to give you a quick introduction to exploratory data analysis, right? Guys, exploratory data analysis is fantastic. We've been using this concept all of our lives, but just that we did not know that, hey, we might be using EDA. Now, let me give you a quick example to give you more clarity about what it is. First of all, let us just say that there is a new TV show that has come out, right? Maybe think about back when it was long ago. I think it was 2011 or 12 when Game of Thrones came back, right? Came out for the first time. Of course, that is not when it was popular. Anyway, let's just say that there is a brand new TV show that came out right now. All of your friends are really going gaga about it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere it's flooded with either storylines, spoilers, or something like that of the story, right? Now, what do? Whenever you see someone else telling you, hey bro, hey macha, whatever it is, right, however they address you, you should really watch this. I'm like, okay, so what do? I just really won't go directly to Netflix and start watching just because someone else told me to watch it, right? Even though it's very popular, I am curious about it, and I want to sit and understand, hey, can I find out some things about that particular TV show? So what I do, I just head to Google, I just type in the name, I just see the average IMDb review, Rotten Tomatoes review. So I just see a couple of reviews, maybe I go to YouTube, watch a trailer or something like that, and only then I start watching the TV show if I think it's something I like for the mood then, right? That is me actually exploring and understanding more about it, even though I did not have the full detail. I just had the name of the TV show, but then I took all of that and I had multiple ways. Maybe I called up a friend to ask about the TV show, right? Maybe I watched a couple of videos, or I realized that, hey, okay, so this is from a novel that I read in the 1990s or something, and now they've made it into a TV show. There are so many cases for that, right? So coming to the actual definition of, okay, we just have someone spamming the comment section. Let me just check out what's going on. So can you adjust your microphone, because your voice is only coming in from the left side? Can you please shift in the center? Well, ArcStark, I am sure that my mic has been configured properly. We just ensured that it was fine as well. So guys, can you please can you all head to the comment section and tell me if I am audible fine? Is there any issue on our side, or is it just ArcStark that's finding out the issue? Guys, can you just head to the comment section and let me know if my mic is again fine, right? I'm sorry that I have to ask you again, but I just want to make sure that all of you all can hear me comfortably as well, right? Perfect. So now while you guys go on to give me that confirmation, I want to tell you something about exploratory data analysis, right? So basically it's you doing a lot more research than what's offered to you. Now what are you trying to do with respect to the TV show case, right? You're trying to find out more things about it. You're trying to find out the trailer. You're trying to find out the reviews about it. You're doing some sort of investigation on your own to see what works better. Is it something you'd want to watch or something, right? So whenever you usually Google the name of a TV show, Google itself is intelligent to even suggest something else if you're not into watching that. So you will understand the anomalies, you'll understand patterns in the data. You will just have a ton of questions, if you're given just the name of a TV show, right? That is exploratory data analysis. You're trying to explore something into a topic and you're performing analysis by exploring into the topic, and that is what gives it the name EDA, right? Okay, perfect, guys. All right, a couple of people, you guys are telling me that the audio is fine, and some of the people say you're hearing only the left hand side. And let me just check my microphone again. Okay, guys, I think the microphone should be fine now, right? Let me just move it a little more. Yep, should be fine now. Okay, perfect. So what are we trying to do with EDA in terms of why it is so important, right? See, exploratory data analysis is very, very important because first of all, we can get to understand our data even before us coming to conclusions, right? So I can take a look at the TV show and I can say, meh, I don't watch thrillers, I don't watch horror TV shows, right? But then it's just me just coming to a random conclusion. But maybe the TV show, even though it has the thumbnail of maybe it being a horror, it can be very much a comedy TV show as well, right? So I want certain concrete proof before I am coming to a conclusion, and EDA helps with that. The second thing is it will help us give us more clarity before us making any sort of assumptions, right? Now there's a new TV show that came out. My friend gave me a call, says, bro, you have to watch this. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to analyze. I'm trying to see before I make any assumptions of either it's good or bad or it's just trending and it has no value or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I have more clarity towards it. So I told you the first thing I had to head to is Google, right? See, that's perfect. The next thing is it helps spots erroneous data trends and events. Sometimes let's just get back to complete theory in terms of EDA, where it so happens that you're working with a good amount of data, okay? It can be any data. You're working with it and suddenly you realize, hey, okay, my data is wrong. Like you definitely will know things of what's going on right now, right? So maybe you can just go up to your terrace right now and you can look at a clear sky and you can say, hey, there's a good chance it will not rain for the next 1 hour. But maybe as soon as you say, hey Google, will it rain in the next 1 hour? Google will say, absolutely, it's a thunderstorm, it's a wipeout. But that's not the case, right? There's a tiny error, tiny mistake there. So whenever you have any sort of questions, you answer that questions and you provide proof, ample number of proof with respect to data, and say, hey, here is why I can answer it so confidently, and I'm not just guessing and I'm not just running into conclusion. That is when you can safely say that you have used a product which is again based off of data analysis, right? Perfect, guys. Now, I hope all of you had a quick understanding of what exploratory data analysis is, right? So the answer, to be very honest with you, is in the name itself. You're trying to analyze into data. Think of data like a treasure box, a box full of treasure in those pirate movies, and those cartoons we used to watch as children, right? So as soon as you dig into the treasure, you find the treasure, you open up, it's a big wooden box, and you start cracking it open, you find gold inside, right? Similarly with EDA, you just have to go through a lot of mess, a lot of process, very complex procedures to ensure that at the end of it, you can get towards that gold, right? It's literally like you're hunting into the data, where data is the treasure box. You open it, you find a lot of gold, but you need to know how to search, where to search, and all of these things, right? So that is exploratory data analysis. Alright, perfect, guys. Now we'll quickly take a look at the types of exploratory data analysis that are out there. Now, I want all of you all to note down, I want all of you all to remember, because ladies and gentlemen, this is something very important, and if you are ever applying for data science or data analysis interviews right now, this is a question that's usually 100% asked, right? So there's 3 types of exploratory data analysis. Pay attention here. We have univariate analysis, we have bivariate analysis, and we have multivariate analysis. Look at the name again, uni, bi, and multi, right? Uni usually talks about 1, bi usually talks about 2, multi usually talks about more than 2, right? But what are we talking about here? In univariate analysis, we're trying to only analyze one variable, right? That's why the name univariate analysis. We are only analyzing one variable. With bivariate analysis, what are we doing? Now you can guess, right? So we are analyzing two variables instead of one, hence the name bivariate. Now what happens if you have to analyze more than two variables? Then you have to give it one name which, it works from two all the way to the end, right? That is where we have multivariate analysis. Multivariate analysis basically is us performing analysis considering more than two variables at a time, right? So this is multivariate analysis. Now you guys can be a little curious, and of course you guys can be a tiny bit confused here as well. So just to add more clarity to it, let me give you a little bit of examples here so that you can remember it a lot better when you guys are working on this, right? Perfect. Now, if ever we're talking about univariate analysis, we are analyzing one variable, right? Perfect. Now, if you have to track your own change in your age or change in your height, what would you do? You just have to analyze one variable, right? If I say, hey, over the last 10 years, how has your age changed? Seems like a pretty straightforward question. Your answer would be 10, right? In the last 10 years, you basically had 10 years to grow. So your age gets added by 10. Correct? Perfect. Next, take a look at the height. If you want to track your height changes maybe from 2018 all the way to 2025 and you're marking it on your wall, I mean, that's the jugaad way of how a lot of people I know do. But yeah, if you're doing any of these kinds of things, but if you're trying to analyze your height, you just need your height data, nothing else, right? Of course, you can add age to it, you can add male, female, you can add whatever you want to it. But if I just want to analyze height, can I do it with one variable? Yes or no? The answer to that is yes, and it's through univariate analysis, right? Perfect. Now, if you're talking about bivariate analysis, with bivariate analysis, basically you are trying to analyze either the outcome or a couple of variables using two sets of data, two features as we call it, right? Now, I'll give you a very good example. If you're thinking about sport preferences for the male and the female population, it is very different, right? Now, we can see one thing very clearly here is that since we're talking about IPL itself, the male population in cricket, people who prefer, guys who prefer playing cricket is very much higher than maybe girls who prefer cricket as well, right? I know India has a fantastic women's cricket team. I am aware of the fact, but just for this kind of a comparison, if you just take a look at the preferences, right? Now, I know a lot of women who love playing hockey, right? So they just absolutely love hockey. So if I'm taking a look at hockey, cricket, or maybe something like Formula 1 or MotoGP or anything, all these are usually male dominated sports, right? So there's a preference. People from that same sex definitely want to be doing more and more of that. But then to analyze that, what do we need? We require two things. One, the general male population. Two, the general female population. So we can analyze and assess. You see what we're doing? We're using two variables like that, right? Similarly for multivariate analysis as well. In multivariate analysis, I can give you a fantastic example. Think about diabetes prediction, right? Diabetes, you guys tell me, it is not just the onset of age, right? It usually happens with a lot of different factors. First of all, your age. Second of all, how well are you built? How well do you work out? What's your insulin level? What are your eating habits? What's your body mass index? There's a million things that will, that can have a say in if a person has diabetes or not. Correct, guys? It's not just one thing. That is where when you have to analyze age, insulin, body mass index, weight, fat percentage, your eating habit, everything you have to analyze, more than two things to come to the final conclusion to say someone is diabetic or not. Or you can predict saying this person might have diabetes or not. Right? You just saw what I did there. I took more than 3-4 variables to compare. That is multivariate analysis. So guys, I hope with this we are clear with understanding univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and of course multivariate analysis as well. Right? Perfect. Now, we're talking about a good amount of theory. I just want to take 1 second to introduce you to this very fantastic kind of plotting that we have, which is very, very popular in the case of EDA. It's called as a box plot. Have you guys seen a graph which looks like this? You literally have a graph on your own. I mean, apart from all the numberings and the letters on your screen, have you guys ever had a chance to come up, head to head against this and finding out, what a box plot is or how it works as well, right? Let me tell you, since we're talking about exploratory data analysis, I'll give you a little bit of theory and I'll quickly explain how this works, right? So you have certain values in a distribution. You have a couple of values that are spread out and now you want to put it in a box plot. The way you put things in a box plot is the most minimum value goes on the left side, and you can see here it says min. This is the minimum value. In this case, the minimum value is either 0 or 1 or something like that, and then you have the maximum value. In this case, the maximum value is where? The maximum value is somewhere around 30. But let's discuss everything between the minimum and the maximum. So the median value, always talks about the median, right? The median value is basically the middle element in an ordered data set. So here the median seems somewhere like 12. The middle line in the box that always tells you the median. And then you have something called Q1 and Q3. Q1 and Q3 basically talks about quartiles. When we have data and we want to split it into percentiles, we actually split it into 4 quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. In this particular case, the first quarter is between min and Q1. The second quarter is between Q1 and median. The third quarter is between what? It's between median and Q3. And again, similarly, the last quarter is between Q3 and max, right? So you can find out, if I draw here, probably you can look at 4 circles, right? It just looks like the symbol of an Audi or something like that, right? Perfect. And then you'll see a couple of dots here, 3 dots that says outliers. Outliers are basically data which is not in the range of the data set that we're talking about. I'll give you an example. If we are talking about the maximum speed of maybe a Bugatti or a Ferrari, right? So let's just say on paper it can go up to 350 or 400 kilometers per hour. That's the maximum, right? Not all cars can do it, but there are cars that can do it. Now an outlier in this particular range will be a car that can do 1200 kilometers, right? Now is there a car which can do 1200? In my knowledge, absolutely no, right now production car which you can go into a showroom and buy. So if you have that data, maybe when you're analyzing all the supercar data, when you guys want to pick up your first Ferrari or Lamborghini or something like that, you'll see that there's a car with a top speed of 1000 kilometers per hour or something. One thought is like, okay, wow, that's a very fast car. The second train of thought that will immediately come to your mind is saying, okay, no car can go that fast, there is an error in the data. To find out that error in a data, that is why you require outliers. And outliers, basically, it doesn't have to be that far away. It can be 500, 600 kilometers per hour. But at the end of the day, it is just telling you, hey, all these data points are not in the same range as, all the other maximum points of your data. So let's just think of it as an outlier as of now, and let's see if that is important, not important, throw away, or whatever it is, right? Perfect. Now guys, let's quickly discuss about the advantages of exploratory data analysis before we can go ahead and physically take a look at all the examples that we are talking about, right? Perfect. Now, since we're talking about the advantages of EDA, there are many advantages, guys. We can go on to discuss these advantages for hours and hours together, but just to make sure that all of you all are on the same page as me as on this one, I've just kept it to 5 really important points that's the advantage of EDA, right? First of all, it has to be the biggest advantage, arriving at data-driven conclusion and insights. Now, what I mean by this is, as I told you, right, if there is a problem at hand, I can either analyze it and give you an answer, or I can guess. Now, if you ask me how a TV show is, right, maybe there is a new TV show that came out and you ask me, hey, how do you think about this TV show? If I haven't watched it, if I've never watched it, or I don't know anything about it, there's 2 ways I can think about it. The first thing is, hey, let me do some research and let me talk to you about it, is one answer. The second answer is, it just seems so fancy, I don't like it. You see what I did there? The second answer that I just gave is a random conclusion without having any data. It's just me thinking that it's a boring show, let's not watch. This happens with a lot of us. This happens, in fact, with all of us, I'm pretty sure, in one point or the other. We just try to have a conclusion without data behind it, right? That's one thing. With the help of exploratory data analysis, this will not be the case. Every time you come to a solid conclusion, you will have data proof to make sure that you know how you got to that conclusion. This is a huge advantage, huge point here, right? The second thing is, as I told you, you can have a Ferrari or a Bugatti, but I'm sure they don't go 1500 kilometers per hour on the road, right? So you'll have to check for data anomalies. You have to make sure your data is consistent, it is clear, it is not confusing, and there are so many things which can get messed up, right? So if someone asks, hey, how fast can your car go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour? There's usually a time, right? 5 seconds, 6 seconds, something like that. And if you just find the fastest car out there, and if it says 120 seconds for you to get from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, you might laugh. But the thing is, yes, there can be certain error in that data that is leading to that, right? This is with the case of data analysis. Since you're analyzing into cars, you can catch it out really quick, right? That's an advantage. The next thing is feature engineering. Okay, let's get back to that diabetes example that I was just explaining to you, right? When we think about diabetes, as I told you, there are multiple features that we have to go on to analyze to see if a person has diabetes or not. But how do I know what these features are? That's what feature engineering talks about. Me finding out, me knowing that, hey, age has an effect on diabetes. Me knowing that, hey, body mass index has an effect on diabetes. Blood sugar has, an impact on diabetes. What else? Body fat level. Think about your eating habit. Think about your workout routine. All of these things can have an effect on it, right? So me finding out these features, me thinking about these features, that is feature engineering. All right, perfect. The next thing we're going to take a look at is data cleaning. Now, data cleaning is very much required because if it comes to a point where you're using data analysis with machine learning, usually that's the case. Machine learning and data analysis go together. And if you're using that, and if you send dirty data, when I say dirty data, it's basically data which is not pre-processed, right? With all these anomalies and inconsistencies, if you send it to your machine learning algorithm will not be able to figure out saying, hey, that is right, this is wrong, and all of that. It'll just start learning and assuming that every data that you've provided is correct. And again, at the end of the result, you'll be like, okay, so machine learning is not good. Why? Because you just gave it incorrect data and it gave you an inaccurate output, not the fault of the machine learning algorithm, right? Yes, you can avoid all of that with EDA. Now, the next thing, the last point here, it says it helps in handling underfitting and overfitting. Underfitting and overfitting are the two most insane things that, a data analyst or a data scientist has to deal with, guys. I'll be very honest with you. Underfitting is a situation where your model cannot, it literally cannot find a pattern of what's happening in your data, and it just cannot learn enough to understand what's going on, right? A machine learning model. In the case of overfitting, it's the exact opposite. Your machine learning algorithm is looking so much into the depth of your data. It is just trying to find anything that it can find, and it is digging deeper and deeper. It just finds noise. It just finds useless information rather than something that would work out for you, just because of the fact that it is doing it over and over and over again in a way where nothing is helping, right? That is overfitting. Underfitting and overfitting can literally kill your machine learning model to a point where the outcome of it or the efficiency of it will just drop almost near to zero if you haven't handled overfitting and underfitting. And I'm sure you guys, if you've ever worked on data sets, you guys will understand this, right? Perfect, guys. Now I think we have somewhere around 152 people joining us for this session, guys. Now is the time we go on to Python. Now is the time we go on to check out practically of how we go on to perform data analysis on the IPL data set, right? So what are we trying to do with the IPL data set that we have? First of all, we need to answer some questions with respect to the data set, because now you will be curious saying, okay, so since we're performing data analysis with IPL, what's the data, right? That again, we can have Python itself answer the question for us. For example, what is the size of the data set? What are the types of data that is present in the data set? Is this data set pre-processed? Are everything that's present in this data set correct? Or all the labels present, right? Now, there's so many things that you can mix up in cricket data. Maybe something like how many wickets were taken versus how many runs the team scored, right? You can just jumble these two things and you will know that it is wrong. You cannot take 120 wickets in a IPL match, right? But you might know that, hey, can 120 be the runs and maybe 8 or 9 that can be the wickets, right? So you know it, but your machine learning algorithm does not. So to make sure that is correct, we are going to take a look at that as well. So we're going to ask our data set questions. We're going to keep firing questions at Python, and Python is going to give us all the answers that we are looking for, right? Perfect. Now, do we just ask questions about the data sets, or do we have any fun questions to ask? Yes, we have a ton of fun questions to ask, but before we ask all the fun questions, we need to understand the data set in terms of its statistics. We need to understand the value of mean, median, and mode. You remember when I told you after we looked at a box plot saying the data is broken into 4 quarters, or the quartile division or the interquartile division? We're going to have to take a look at that. And of course, we can take a look at how many different data elements that we have that is going to help us perform this analysis, right? Now, coming to the fun questions. The fun questions we can ask saying is, okay, how many IPL matches were ever played in all the data that we have? How many seasons of IPL are we analyzing right now? Which team has scored the most runs? Which match gave us the most amount of wickets, most amount of runs? Or who is the player who has maximum amount of those purple caps or whatever it's called as, right? Perfect. We're going to take a look at this. We're going to do a ton of interesting questions, and I hope you guys are really as excited as I am because I am just heading into my Jupyter notebook. So basically we are using Google Collab, guys. Google Collab is nothing but a simple Python Jupyter notebook that is hosted on the Google Cloud platform. You can actually in fact you can get started with it on your own as well. Just go to collab.research.google.com. it's free to use. It's very simple. You just have to type in your Python code, hit enter, and it runs. You can do it from your phone, you can do it from your PlayStation, you can write Python code, execute it, and ensure it works literally from anywhere that you want, because whatever is running here in the back end or the background, it is basically running on a server in the Google Cloud platform. Again, the server can be anywhere around the world, so you can basically sit at your favorite Starbucks or while you're eating your morning idli, dosa, so whatever it is, and you can start writing code and it'll work absolutely fine, right? Alright guys, so let's get started with exploratory data analysis. Again, IPL is in full swing, and now we can go on to check it out, right? So first step, as always, whenever you're working with any sort of data, what is it that we do? We always import all the libraries that you're working with, right? Pandas and NumPy are two really important libraries which we have to have. Pandas is basically providing us with two data structures. One is called series, the other one is called data frame, and of course we have NumPy. NumPy is the number one library that you have to go to whenever you can think about any sort of numerical computation, working with matrices, working with arrays, and all of that, right? Perfect. And the next two libraries that you see, Matplotlib and Seaborn, these libraries are basically the ones which help us with what? Data visualization, right? Whenever we have to create beautiful looking graphs, and we are going to create a ton of graphs, as you can see here, you guys will understand. Now, it's been a while since we have seen an error in Python. Let me run this and I'll see a beautiful error right now. See, there's the error I told you about. Yes, now why do I have this error? First of all, I have the dataset file in my computer but not on the Google Cloud platform. I have to bring my dataset file to the Google Cloud platform, right? So let me just quickly find all the datasets that I have, and let me bring in the data. You're going to see what the data is. You will understand. I just have to make sure that right now it updates and it's ready. Right now I've done it. Let me run it again. Now is the fun part. Now is when you will get to see what the data looks like. Let me zoom out a little, right? Perfect, guys. Now follow along with me because this is where things get really interesting. First of all, every match that has ever been played has an identification ID. Next is the season. Which year of IPL was the match played in, right? IPL 2017, 2016. We're going to see how much IPL data we have as well. So yeah. And then we're going to see what city the match was played in at, right? Like which city was the actual match played in? What is the date of the match? Who are the two teams that were playing against each other in this match that happened in 2017? Sunrisers Hyderabad was playing RCB. RCB won the toss, and then you have the toss decision. So RCB decided they want to field, they want to bowl, and when we say result and it says normal, what we're trying to do is either the match was a draw or not a draw. The match was incomplete due to the rain or something like that, right? If it says normal, it means the match finished as it's supposed to finish, right? Perfect. And then who was the winner of the match? How many runs did they win by? How many wickets did they win by? Who's the player of that particular match? Where was it played? Again, this was played in Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium in Uppal. So I am hoping that's in Hyderabad, right? Okay, perfect. Who was the umpire? You see, you can find out who was the first umpire, second umpire, third umpire, and all of that. Wherever it says nan, it means not a number. It means that data is not available to us. But you see all the amount of data that we have here. It's just top 10 data that I've just printed it for you. So how big is our data set even to begin with? We have 756 match details, guys. 756 match details of all the matches that has ever been played, right? As I told you, there's 18 columns of data. 18 columns is basically us giving the ID, season, city, date, team 1, team 2, toss winner, result, all those things. So in total, if you have to ask a question to the dataset saying, hey, how many details of matches do you have? The answer to that is 756, as you can see. And how many many columns? What are the data that we're taking a look at? ID, season, city, date, team 1, team 2, who won the toss, what was the decision of the toss, what was the result of the match, who was the winner, how many runs did they win by, who was the man of the match or player of the match as it's called, where was the match played, which stadium, and first umpire, second umpire, and third umpire. These are all the data that we have, right? Perfect. Next, we have to go on to do is some data pre-processing. When we say data pre-processing, we just have to find out if there are any NaN values. NaN values are, NaN basically stands for not a number. It means these values literally are not numbers or they are something else. In this particular case, wherever it says false, it means that there all the data is correct, and it can be it can be numbers, it can be data, it can be your regular data as well. Wherever it says false, it means that there is a string data to it. Now, if I ask you this question saying, hey, that RCB versus CSK match that happened, where was it played? You will give me an answer in terms of a place, right? You will give me an answer which is the name of a place. You will not say the match happened in 3. Well, what is 3? I don't know, right? Exactly. So similarly here as well, whenever it says false, it's telling me that, hey, here there's no number, that's an actual string data, and it is correct as well. So I'm basically printing out here saying, hey, do we have any NaN values or not? If it's not there, it'll print false. If it's there, it'll print true, right? Perfect. The next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to give a little bit of a statistical description of the data set. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, what is the first thing that we know? There were 756 matches that have been played, right? The count is 756. Now, what is the mean of, let's say, I want to ask this question. Out of the 756 matches played, what was the average win by runs? How many runs was the match won on, basically, of all the 756 matches? And the answer is right here. It's 13.28. This was the average number of runs, across the entire data set, where you can find the maximum win by runs. You can find out the standard deviation, the minimum value, 25th percentile, 50th percentile, 70th percentile, and maximum values as well. These 4 will give you all the quartile divisions and all the statistical values that you need right now. But then, hey, let's keep statistics a little to the side because we are asking all the fun questions to our data set right now, correct? Perfect. Now, what is the next question that we can ask? How many matches were played according to the entire data set, right? So we already saw this. We know that we have 756 matches in this data set. Again, am I using 100 lines of code to get this answer? No, it's literally one line of code, one very simple line of code where I'm performing data analysis, right? I'm asking it a question. I'm saying, hey, how many matches were played? It gave me an answer. The next thing I'm going to ask the question saying is, okay, so how many IPL seasons do we have for this particular data, right? You can see here, right from 2008 until 2019 we have everything, right? 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So from IPL 2008 all the way to IPL 2019 we have the data, right? Now guys, I want you all to head to the comment section right now, and can you guys please tell me who won IPL in 2008 and which team won IPL in 2019, right? Just give me these 2 names, who won it in 2008 and who won it in 2019. Now, there is one more thing that you guys have to understand is that the data set we have here might not be the exact same thing of how it happened in the real world. Of course, there can be certain changes. It depends on how the data set was put together and all of that, right? So, whatever answers we get of the questions that we ask, let us assume that they are correct with respect to the data that we have, of course, right? Even though there might be a case where, that IPL team that won by scoring maximum runs was something else than it's shown here. What it is showing here is basically the data which it understands from its data set, right? Now, if I ask it a question saying, hey, which IPL team won by scoring the maximum amount of runs? The answer is basically, in this particular case, this match happened in 2017. It happened in Delhi. It was between Mumbai Indians and Delhi Daredevils, and you can see a lot of things. Mumbai Indians won the match, and they won it by 146 runs. They won the match by 146 runs. Even though I don't watch cricket, this is absolutely a fantastic thing to look at, right? Player of the match was someone called LMP Simmons. It was played at Firozshah Kotla. Firozshah Kotla, I think, is in Delhi, right? And of course, you can find out the name of the umpires and all of that. You see, I just asked one question. The entire code is just, again, one single line of code. And we found out that, hey, as of now, the Mumbai Indians are the guys who basically have the highest amount of leeway in terms of winning by maximum runs, right? Perfect. Now, the other thing that we definitely have to take a look at is which IPL team won by consuming maximum wickets, right? Which IPL team just took away all the wickets out there and won the match? This again happened in 2017. It happened in Rajkot. There's a match between Gujarat Lions and KKR. KKR won the match and they took all the 10 wickets of it, right? So you can find it was played at this place called Saurashtra Cricket Association Stadium. I am sure you guys will know where this is. You can again find out the name of all the umpires as well, right? So the question I asked is saying, hey, Python, find me the answer to which IPL team that won by taking the maximum wickets. Maximum wickets of what? 10 wickets you can take, right? So if you take all 10, this is the team who did it and who did it first back then, right? So KKR were the people who did it. The next question I can ask saying is, okay, so which IPL team won by taking the minimum amount of wickets, right? They didn't take any wickets, but maybe they had fantastic bowling where they controlled the field really nicely. This again happened in 2017. There was a match between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers RCB, and of course toss was won by RCB. They wanted to field, so of course Sunrisers Hyderabad were doing the batting first, and Sunrisers Hyderabad won just by scoring 35 runs, and they never took any wickets. So probably in this match RCB didn't perform really well, or SRH had like a fantastic bowling strategy or something like that, and RCB just couldn't catch up here, right? So you can see again, it is all of this is basically me just trying to eye lock into the data, me trying to just look into the data to go on to understand, right? So this is something which is very, very, very important for all of us. All right, a lot of you all have given me the answers. RR and MI, 2008 RR and 2019 MI1. Okay guys, perfect, thank you so much. I actually did not know who won in 2008 and 2019, right? All right, perfect. Abhirup says, yes, without the dataset, why are we watching? Well, Abhirup, that's definitely a good question. Yes, the dataset will be provided for all of you all. Again, you definitely have to sign up to one of the courses that we have at Great Learning Academy. Then you will have access to all the learning material apart from the PDF there as well. So I hope, again, I answered that question. So your last 5 or 6 comments wasn't loading, guys. That's the reason I just couldn't see your comments. Dataset, yes, you can find out the dataset that is provided again when you enroll yourself into the Great Learning Academy program that we have. Okay, perfect. Now let's get back to answering some more fun questions. The next question that I can ask is saying, hey, which season consisted of the highest number of matches that are ever played? Okay, from 2008 to 2019, which was that season where maximum amount of matches were played? Look at that. That's a beautiful looking graph, right? So I think it has to be 2013, right? Yes. 2013 has somewhere around 71 or 72 matches that was played, and that is the highest until date. In 2019, how many matches were played? I think it's less than 60, right? Yes. So, you can just find out with, again, 3 lines of code. You can print a beautiful, colorful graph like this, and you can just find out in a second of in which IPL season the maximum number of matches were played. And after that, I want to ask one more question. I want to say, hey, which is the most successful IPL team with all the data that we have at hand? Now, guys, do not fight in the comment section for this. You have your own favorite teams, I am very sure. I would have had a favorite team if I were to watch IPL. But at the end of the day, with respect to all the data that we have, let us see the team who won the maximum number of matches, right? So as of all the data from IPL 2008 to IPL 2019, you can see that Mumbai Indians have won the maximum number of matches. After Mumbai Indians, it's CSK. After CSK, it's been Kolkata Knight Riders. After Kolkata Knight Riders, it's been RCB, Punjab, Rajasthan Royals, Delhi Daredevils, and all this. This is just looking at this graph. You can just find out in like what 10 seconds. You can look at it, find who has the maximum runs, and boom, you have your answer, right? And all of this, again, just take a look at the code that we have written for it. 2 lines of code and we have this entire answer, right? Perfect. Now, let's ask one more question to it, right? So let's just go on to ask a question saying, what is the probability of us winning a match, but if the toss was won, right? Now, there are many cases where you win the toss, but you do not win the game. Or there are cases where you lose the toss, but you still win the game, right? So in this case, what I want to find out is, hey, how many matches, or what is the probability of winning a match if I also won the toss, right? So if you also won the toss, there is a good chance that you have 393 matches that have been won because the toss was won. But there have also been 363 matches where the game was won by the person who lost the toss as well. So if I just take a look at this, let me actually print a little graph here so that you quickly can see this. So wherever it says true, it means that the person won the toss and won the game. Wherever it says false, the person lost the toss but won the game. Here, if I just take a look at it, and if you have to ask my conclusion on this, I can take a look at it and I can say, hey, I don't think the toss will matter a lot. Now, you might say very differently, saying, oh no, toss is everything in IPL, right? I understand. But as of what my data set is showing right now, it says that, hey, there is only very, very slight advantage that you might win if you actually won the toss, right? So this is a very important question. The next time you have an IPL conversation with someone, tell them that, hey, you know what? We tuned into a live session at Great Learning and these guys proved it with data saying that your toss is not literally everything else, right? So if you won the toss, it doesn't mean you won the game. If you lost the toss, it doesn't mean you lose the game. There is still an equal amount of chance, and for the person who won the toss, there is a slight amount of extra probability that they might win the match, right? That's all the big hype with respect to that. Perfect. Next, just it's a setting for a couple of pandas data frames that we're about to discuss. So the part where, again, we're going to ask a very, very important question is how many teams, which teams basically has the highest number of runs per season, right? Highest number of wins, sorry. Now we can check this out per season, as you can see, right? Let's just go back up. In IPL 2008, Rajasthan Royals were the ones with the highest amount of matches. They won 13 matches. In IPL 2009, Delhi Daredevil won 10 matches. In 2010, Mumbai Indians won 11. In 2011, Chennai Super Kings won 11 matches. In 2012, it was KKR who won 12 matches. In 2013, Mumbai Indians won 13 matches. You can see that, right? I'm just going all the way to 2019. And I think for the last 2 or 3 years, you can safely assume that Chennai, Mumbai, and probably Delhi, these three guys are always on the top there, right? Just an average, just a guess based on actual data that I'm seeing on my screen right now, guys. I just see spam in the comment section, guys. Person called Anish Kumar, please do not spam the comment section. If you have a question, please ask it out. I'll definitely answer into this, right? Perfect. Abhirup says, do we have to enroll to a paid course to get the dataset? Absolutely not, Abhirup. All the courses that you find on Great Learning Academy are absolutely free of cost. So you can enroll into our data analysis course there on Great Learning Academy, which is again 100% free. There you can have access to all the dataset, right? Okay. Alright guys, just give me 1 second. Let me just be right back. Let me just drink a little bit of water, right? Alright, perfect. Now we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I have one more question. Patel Hirsch says, sir, which software are you using? Well, very good question, Patel. Thank you so much for tuning in to our session. I'm using Google Collaboratory, right? So it's basically, let me just show you, Google Collab. As soon as I hit enter, this is what I am using, right? Google Collab. This is basically a notebook that will help you write Python code easily as well. Right, okay, so what is the next question that we're gonna try to find out, right? Every time the toss coin, right? There's a coin in which they do the toss. Every time it was thrown, what are the decisions that people have chosen most of the time? And I think this is something that even people who do not watch cricket can sort of analyze, right? So as soon as you win the toss, you usually go bowling, depending on the pitch or something like that, so that you know you have a target that you can catch up to or you can hit the target, right? But it is very important to know the target and and that's the reason I think a lot of people take fielding, right? So guys, what do you think about this? Do you think this is an actual this is correct, or is my train of thought correct on this as well? You choose to field because you just have an advantage of knowing how many runs you can chase later, right? That's an advantage, I guess. Perfect. Okay, so the next one is very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. This is again something that all of us are very curious about. Who is the man of the match? Who has won the player? The name of the player who has won the man of the match award most number of times, highest to the lowest, right? Now in this case, if I just keep pinging it again, hang on. This just printed me a lot of data that I have to scroll up on. Yes, perfect. Now, I think the first name I, as a Bangalorean, definitely recognize. CH Gale stands for Christopher Henry Gale, I presume. Gale is the name. And yes, for everyone that's asking the question in the comment section saying, can we get the code? Yes, you guys can get the code, but definitely, guys, take a look at the fun part of it. We can get to the code part of it later as well, right? Perfect. So yes, Gale has won the maximum number of man of the matches. After that, it's AB de Villiers. I know these two guys are from RCB. Warner, Rohit Sharma, Dhoni I know is from CSK. And apart from that, to be very honest, Kohli is of course from RCB. And apart from that, guys, to be very honest with you, that's all the players that I know. Can anyone tell me Warner, what IPL team does he play for? Warner, come on guys. He has won man of the match award 17 times from IPL season 2008 all the way to 2019. Which team does he play for, right? So you can see in a descending order of all the people who have who have won man of the matches, right? There are some people who have won it just one time also. Perfect. Now, while you guys go on to give me that answer, let me just quickly show you one more important thing. An important question that one can ask is saying, hey, in which city were the maximum number of IPL matches ever played? And I think the answer is very much solid in front of you. Mumbai. So what is the name of the stadium what is the name of the stadium that's in Mumbai, guys? What is the name of the cricket stadium that's in Mumbai? Because from 2008 all the way to 2019, 101 IPL matches were played there. And if you take a look at everything else, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, all these numbers are small compared to 101, right? So what's the name of the stadium that's in Mumbai where 101 games have been played, right? You tell me the answer to that and we can wrap up this demonstration, right? Perfect, guys. Come on, give me the answer. Okay, superb. It's called as the Wankhede Stadium. Now that you guys tell me, I definitely know the name of it. Okay, perfect. So guys, it seems like a lot of you all are, super fans of cricket and IPL and all of that, right? I mean, it's super fun. I just see everyone else in my house, watching this as well. I sometimes watch a couple of matches. So just knowing that, hey, I was in fact showing this data set to my friend who is not from a non-technical background, and I've shown this to a couple of family members as well and explained to them saying, hey, look, I have certain data such as this, and I can ask my computer questions and it can give me fantastic answers like this. And how cool is that, right? Today it just looks like a simple data analysis that we're doing, but even right now that we have the data set, we can actually train a chatbot to learn using all those data and all these questions that I asked, right? How many IPL season are we analyzing? Which IPL team won by the most runs or whatever it is? Instead of me asking this in terms of a paragraph and telling you guys, I can actually ask this to a particular chatbot and it can give me the answer looking at the data set, right? That is when you use machine learning, deep learning, all of those concepts. But of course, what was the goal of this session? The goal of this session is to make sure you guys understand that if we have a fun data set such as the IPL data set, you can ask so many questions. Now, on an average, I think we have asked somewhere around 30 questions or 25 questions, and we have got answers to it straight from the data. And none of these is a lot of code, right? You can see that. Let me just hit clear output. As soon as you clear the output, you'll just get to see the size of the code that we have written, right? Look at this. Every single time I am querying, I am asking Python something, it's just literally one single line of code that I really have to write. And with that, I have all the answers that I have I need, right? It's pretty much that. And someone asked me in the comment section saying, what is ID min or ID max or something like that, right? ID x max. So basically here we're trying to find the identification of that particular value and arrange it by maximum. In this case, if I'm trying to say find me the team which won by consuming the maximum wickets, what am I asking? I'm asking which IPL team. I do not want a list of 10 IPL teams that won. I just want one IPL team who won by consuming maximum wickets. To get to that point, we require IDX max, right? Perfect, guys. So with this, I hope we are all very clear with respect to how you guys can go on to perform very fun and interesting analysis, data analysis with respect to the IPL data that we have. Now, usually after this I get a very, very important question, ladies and gentlemen, saying, okay, so I understand data analysis now, where do I go from here? Well, let me tell you this, data analysis, even though I hope we made it very clear with respect to the session, you guys have to understand that there is so much more to this as well. A simple Google search where you can type in learn data analysis something, by the time I did that, right, just that sound, you will be given what, 100 million results, and all of those are giving you learning material to read, or most of them. Now, there is a huge advantage here, knowing that you have access to some really good learning material. The disadvantage is not all these learning materials will give you a structured way of learning. You will not have a structured path to learn. If you do not have a structured path to learn, things can get very, very, very complicated after you clear the intermediate level. And once you're working towards advanced, if your foundations are not very strong, or if you just took a haphazard way to learn, it will be very difficult after that, guys. So make sure your learning is very much in a structured way. And that's the reason I keep asking you guys to subscribe so many times, right? When you subscribe to the Great Learning when you subscribe to the Great Learning YouTube channel, or when you opt in for courses at Great Learning Academy, you have this fantastic opportunity of, first of all, having the highest quality of learning material available to you. Second of all, whenever you're joining in for us with any of these live sessions that we have, you guys need to know that you're having all the advantages and you're the winners here, right? So you guys not only get to talk with us. For example, I am a subject matter expert in terms of data science and a lot of other niches in this domain. So whenever you talk to me or any of the other subject matter experts that we have here at Great Learning, the biggest advantage you will get is that, first of all, you will get the highest quality of learning material possible. Second of all, we know what is happening in the industry right now. We know, for example, what's happening in the data analysis industry. What should you learn? What should you not learn? What are the trending tools? What's the next best application that you can work towards? Or what is that framework that you guys have to learn? See, 5-6 questions, again, are very, very, very important. It takes months and months of research for us to sit and do it as well. So whenever we go on to join you on these live sessions, we will not only give you the highest quality of learning material, we will align it with exactly what is required in the industry. That way you're winning not only once, but you're winning twice. But then to get to that point, you definitely have to be subscribed to the Great Learning YouTube channel. And of course, you guys have to keep checking out Great Learning Academy. We have multiple courses. In fact, we have 200 plus courses that will give you access to a lot of free learning material there, right? So guys, I hope all of you all have created accounts and you guys have started learning and earning your free certificates of completion on Great Learning Academy. You can definitely get more content on data analysis with respect to our Great Learning YouTube channel, and of course even our Great Learning blogs as well. So whatever way of learning makes you happy, we have covered it. We have a very structured learning management system. We also have the YouTube channel, we have blogs. All of this again is created by subject matter experts who are completely thorough, who are professional, who absolutely know everything in their domain. And that's the reason we have this fantastic adventure of putting out great content for you guys, right? Perfect. Okay guys, again, I see comment section being spammed by Saroj Kaur. Please do not spam the comment section. I'll answer your question. Your question is where we have to learn Kotlin. Well, Saroj, we definitely have a couple of videos here on the channel where you can check out Kotlin. So just make sure you're opening a new tab and you can check out what offerings we have here for Kotlin. But of course, we definitely are planning to work on Kotlin a lot more. So make sure you are subscribed to stay in touch with the future as well, right? Perfect. So yes, Saroj, with that, I hope I have answered your question. Right. Now, guys, it's a very important thing that, of course, I just showed you three places of where you guys can get started with the domain, where you guys can quickly get started to going from beginner to an intermediate learner with any sort of free resource out there. But if you guys definitely have to work towards complete expertise and you guys want to become thorough experts and you're confident saying, hey, I want to have a job in this particular domain and I want to work towards it, I want to become a thorough expert in be it data analysis, business analysis, data science. We have multiple specialization and post-graduation offerings. We have PG programs, MTech programs, MS programs done in collaboration with some of the most fantastic universities out there. We have University of Texas at Arlington, basically Texas MECOM School of Business. Then we have PS University, Northwestern University. We are tied up with Stanford. You know that Stanford is an Ivy League school, and we have a lot of other schools as well, right? So let me just quickly take a second to guide you across with one of these career changing programs that we have here. Beautiful programs. You have a lot of interest, a lot of people asking us about it. In fact, data analysis falls mostly under the domain of data science itself, and I present to you Great Learning's post-graduation program in data analysis, in data science and business analytics. Now, this is a program that is done in collaboration with the University of Texas at Austin. This is considered as India's #1 data science program that's done in collaboration with these universities. There is a very detailed curriculum that you guys will get to study, and of course it's a mentor driven program, as in you will get multiple hands-on projects where you'll be working with the guidance of mentors. You get 1:1 personalized mentorship, and of course this is a 11-month program, right? It's completely online. It's 11 months, so if you start right now, by the end of you guys finishing it, you guys will be thorough experts in data science if you have put in the right amount of work, right? So you get ample job opportunities because your resumes get shared with 350 companies that we have, and 7,000 plus alumni report that they have an average salary hike of 50% or 48% after they completed the program, right? And you can look at the certificates. The certificates are absolutely stunning to look at. You get 2 certificates, one from University of Texas at Austin, the other one from Great Lakes as well. And you can find all the details about the curriculum in the website. In fact, you can download an entire brochure as well, right? So you can just find out all the quizzes, all the projects, all the things you'll be learning in that module, sub-modules. You can find out everything you need to know about what it is that you will learn, from the most basics all the way to the most advanced concepts, right? At the end of it, of course, you'll have a capstone project. A capstone project is where you guys will be working on a big project, a real-time project under industry level expert guidance, and using that you guys can put it on your resume. You'll get help with respect to building your resume as well, mock interviews, career fairs. You get access through career fairs, guidance through 1:1 mentorship, and of course you get 2 post-graduation certificates, one from University of Texas at Austin and the other one by Great Lakes as well, right? Again, just scrolling through, you can see a lot of different type of projects that we're all working on. 1,000 plus projects have been completed in 22 plus domains, and we have 3 papers that are published in IIM Bangalore as well. So these projects are some of the most fantastic projects you guys get to work on. And of course, at the end of the day, since you guys are working when you guys are working towards becoming expertise, it is very important that you have the leading academicians and you have thorough experts who are teaching you, and that is the case, right? So we have people here who are completely knowledgeable, who are absolutely thoroughly knowledgeable in this domain that we're talking about, in data science and business analytics. And then when you're taking a look at mentors are equally important just as much as your faculties will be teaching. So again, we have fantastic mentors for you as well. And if you keep scrolling, you can find out all the career support that we have in terms of mentorships, interview preparation, access to jobs, exclusive recruitment drives, and a lot more, right guys? Perfect. And of course, it comes with a program fee. It's 2,25,000. The price might change, but there is a lot of demand for this particular program. It's an 11-month program with 225 plus hours of learning, and you get 17 real world projects as well. There's an application process that you guys have to follow. You have to fill the application form, and after filling it, we'll have a screening call with the admission director's office, and after that is done, you guys will be extended an offer letter for the people who get selected as well, right? So you can find out more details about it, more FAQs, frequently asked questions for any sort of thing everything, details about the program, details about the fees, details about why you should take a look at data science, and all of that as well, right? So we have multiple different programs, your PG programs, MS programs, and a lot of it that you guys can definitely take a look at. I'm sure you'll have more queries around, so here just make sure you guys are putting down your name, your email address, your phone number, and your work experience. If you're a fresher, you can put in your work experience as 0. It is absolutely fine. We will make sure that in the next 4 hours someone from our admissions office will give you a call, and you can ask them all the details that you guys require about this program, about which program is right for you, what you need to do in your career, if you want some assistance about which program will help you get to your career goal, if it's worth it. Guys, I'm sure you'll have a ton of questions. You can direct them all to the expert who's going to give you a call absolutely free of cost as well. So make sure you guys are putting down your number, your name, and of course your work experience and your email, and this way we can have our experts reach out to you. Right, guys? Perfect. Now let's quickly head back to the presentation. Let me take 1 or 2 questions and we can go on to end the session, right? Preeti Kadam says, sir, I want to do specialist in this data science, but it's too late for me since I've completed my graduation in 2007. Is there any chance I can get this job? Well, Preeti Kadam, thank you so much. Welcome to the session. Definitely, yes, it is never too late to learn. I want everyone to understand this right now. You do not have to be in school or college right now to pick up this program. It will definitely help you out. You can make a very good career switch. You just have to find time. And since you tell me that you're freelancing, Preeti, I think you will have a lot more time to dedicate to this, since this is a completely online program. I definitely think you guys can do it. And of course, Preeti, to answer your question as well, yes, you can go on to do this. Data science is a fantastic domain that has really high paying jobs, and it's not just high paying, it's just that you get access to fantastic tools, libraries, work with. It's a huge community, and you're surrounded by the best minds in the world, is something I'd like to say. So I hope that answers your question. Alright guys, with this we have come to the end of the session. Thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you guys tuned in from. The COVID-19 pandemic is not yet over, so please stay safe by wearing your masks, by making sure that you guys don't step out unless it's absolutely necessary. Guys, please stay safe. Right now we're all learning from home, we're working from home, or whatever it is. This is the right time for you all to make sure you can work on your careers, you can work on your goals, you can work on your dreams, because once the COVID-19 pandemic ends, the job market is just gonna go on a huge rise, or on a huge steep, where it's just constantly hiring for people, right? If you start right now, there is a very good chance that you can be at the right time at the right place to catch that trend train, to make sure that you can get your first job in your favorite MNC. You can get your dream job if you just put in the right amount of time as well, right? So as I just mentioned, I hope these specialization programs definitely help you go from being a beginner all the way to being a thorough expert. Make sure you guys are heading to the Great Learning website and checking that out. And in the meantime, guys, we had a lot of you all tuning into this session. Thank you so much. Again, please stay safe from the pandemic. Do take a second to subscribe to the Great Learning YouTube channel and hit that bell icon, because every time you subscribe, you're not only showing us the support that we require for this channel. The second thing is that you're basically subscribing and you're liking the video is telling us that you would want more content such as this, so we can bring you more content, right? So guys, make sure you're all subscribing as well. And on that note, I wish you all well. I hope you have a great day ahead, right? Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. It's always a pleasure. This is Anirudh signing off. Cheers, guys.